Alright, well, good morning everybody. Just want to give a quick intro to this channel. It's going to be talking about my personal experience with, mental health, addiction, incarceration, and recovery. And that's not to say that I'm fully recovered yet, because it's a lifelong journey. But anyway, a little bit of a backstory about me. I've had substance abuse issues since I was probably about 20, 21. First started abusing alcohol. I'm 37 now. So my 20s, my early 20s till mid 20s, I was drinking quite heavily. Then I discovered benzodiazepines, and I started ordering those online. Bad idea. From benzos, my friend, well, I can't blame it on my friend, but I got involved with heroin. So I started shooting heroin at age 26. From about 2009 till 2015, I was on heroin, opiates, benzos, booze. I went to rehab in 2015. I got 10 months clean under my belt. I left the halfway house. I thought I was good. I thought, I got this thing licked. I stopped taking my meds. I thought I could still drink because I thought my real problem was opiates. What really happened was I did stop with the opiates, but I picked up the booze again worse than ever before. So 2016-17, we're drinking quite a bit. Then I discovered kratom, which is a plant from Southeast Asia that gives you an opiate-like high. I thought it was safer than taking regular opiates. I thought that this was a good choice for me. Anyway, I got my first DWI in December 2017. I blew a .27. As you can tell, at that point I had a high tolerance. And then in the summer of 2020, I got 2 DWIs within the span of 6 days. Both of them were on drugs. They tested my blood and then fentanyl. So, very deadly, very dangerous. So therefore, in this state, after you get your first one and then you get a second one, that becomes a Class D felony. So I had a choice to do a county bullet, which is 8 months in the county jail, or do drug court. I chose drug court because I was scared shitless of going to jail. But I really wasn't ready to get sober either. So, failed out of drug court. The judge gave me the full sentence that I would have gotten, which is 1 to 3 years in a state penitentiary. So in March of 2021, I went to the county jail for 9 weeks, and then I went to downstate correctional for another 7 weeks, and then I was finally transferred to my final prison called Marcy Correctional. It's just outside of Utica. So I served a full year. I made my first board. I got out in the middle of March of this year. So let's see. So in 3 days, I will be out of prison for 6 months. And I'm starting to get my life back on track. I take Suboxone. I take an antidepressant. My mental health is also an issue too, so I take a drug called Effexor, which is a pretty strong antidepressant, which is definitely what I need. I can't drink alcohol because that stops the antidepressant from working. The Suboxone makes doing heroin not work, so that med has worked out really, really well for me. I've been out 6 months. Let's see, I was at the homeless shelter for the first 2.5 months, and then since I had a job, I got a job at this place. I was a line cook. Since I had that job, and I applied for what's it called, the Saratoga Housing Authority. I heard back the next week. They said, you fit exactly what we're looking for. You've been in the shelter, you're working. So now I'm at this place, the Housing Authority. It's meant for people who make $37,000 a year or less, is what it takes to live here. My rent is still nearly $1,100, so I have to work all the time to pay my rent. But life has completely changed since before I went into jail. I was so depressed. I was sleeping 16 hours a day. It was a nightmare. I was suicidal. I couldn't will myself to get sober, even though I knew I was looking at 1 to 3 years in prison. I still said, you know what, whatever, I'm sure it'll suck, and it did suck. Prison was not fun. I'm going to go into that in some later videos. This was just the intro with some of my personal background, and there will be more to come. Alright, thanks for listening, guys. Long story to come. Stick with me.